Hello, guys. How are you all? Welcome back to the RCBian Chelsea Fan TV. And here I am. Yes, I'm in a different jersey, as you can see. Yes, this is the Netherlands jersey. That is because we are welcoming the Euros, and it is after 5 years that the Euros are happening. Yes, it did not happen last time because of the pandemic that we are all still in, but luckily we are having the Euros this time. So this time I thought, let's do something different, right? Yes, I am coming live to you all, but it's just not me. As you would have already guessed, it is with me, a great guest that we have, first time on RCBian Chelsea Fan TV. It's Let's Talk Ball with On, and I would really like to welcome Let's Talk Ball with On as I call him. And hi, On, how are you doing?
Uh, hello. First of all, thank you for having me. I'm really happy to be here, and I'm just really excited for the Euros to start. And I'm hoping we have a nice discussion today.
Absolutely, absolutely. And yes, so me and On have been, in touch on Twitter and on social media for a couple of months now. And
Yeah,
we
yeah.
finally get to meet and record a video together. And I cannot tell you how excited I am because On is a great person, as well as it's a great channel that he's having. So definitely, guys, take a look at the description. Yes, don't forget RCP and Chelsea Fan TV as well. But Let's Talk Ball with On is definitely a growing channel. Needless to say, both of us are Chelsea fans, so you can expect, subconscious bias. But I'm hoping that is not to be, and we'll try to stay as neutral as possible. And yeah, we are here to kind of predict and preview the Euros, which are starting in a couple of days' time. And we have a lot of things to talk about. So I thought, let's first maybe talk about the teams that we support, right? So
Okay.
I already told about myself. It is Netherlands. Yes, the reason being Iron Robin, as I've been telling in many of my videos. For those who have seen already, Iron Robin, one of the reasons why I became a fanatic from just another follower of football. And yes, I've seen him play really well, especially in the Euros. So I'm hoping Netherlands can do it this time. You can see behind, I do have the England jerseys as well, the Chelsea jerseys, so to speak, but those are England boys. So yes, English team is always going to have a special corner in my heart because all or most of the Chelsea boys over the years, over the decades, have played for England. So yes, these are my two teams. So let's ask on. What about you? Do you have like a preference, an affinity?
First of all, I'm going to be cheering the Chelsea boys in whatever game they play. But overall, I'm slightly leaning towards Italy. I think they have a really good structure and they're playing some good football, and I really enjoy watching them. So my
Okay.
heart's going to be edging towards Italy for a majority of the tournament, and I think they have what it takes to win it all.
Wow, that's actually a great shout. We'll certainly get to the details,
Yeah.
while we get to it. So, guys, I think we are kind of knowing each other now well. You guys know us. So let's begin. What do you say, On?
Let's get straight to business.
Okay, so let's go. Okay, so as you can see, we are first going to talk about the group stages. We are going to cover a few teams while we are kind of predicting who's going to come out of the groups. And before that, before I begin, quick, data onto how the groups are going to be structured this time and how the knockouts are going to be. So it's going to be traditionally, four teams in each group, but
Yeah.
there are just six groups this time. So there will be two teams, the top two, which will be qualifying automatically to the round of 16. And the remaining four slots will go to the best third place finished team. So that is something that will be the interesting factor because there will be a lot of competition among the not so favorites, so as to speak. So let's get to actually predicting on.
Let's go.
I'm just going to share my screen. I'm going to use the predictor, which is convenient, I believe, for both of us.
Yeah.
I believe you're able to see. Okay,
Okay.
perfect. So yeah, Group A is an interesting group. Your favorite team is there.
Yeah.
I am assuming you will expect Italy to top.
Yes. It is a tricky group. A lot
Mhm.
of quality all over with Switzerland, Turkey, and Wales. But Italy should have what it takes to finish top of the group.
Absolutely, I agree. Like, I think the Italian tactics, especially in major tournaments, is something that we cannot deny.
Yes,
And
100%.
Mancini has got them ticking after a long time. So,
Yeah.
what about Wales? Like, I have got Wales to be finishing second. What about you?
Nah, yeah. I think Wales. I think Wales finished fourth.
Fourth?
Yeah.
I would like to disagree there. I'll tell you why. See, as in, I know that Dan James hasn't performed or has hardly played for Manchester United, but the fact that he's lost the Europa League, he is motivated than ever. I just watched his interview yesterday. Not just one man. I know it's a team game, but I think for Bale also, like this will be one of the last times when he can actually do the big thing. Uh, and they play as a team. From what I know, their defense is quite resolute.
Mm.
Although it might be like not as experienced, but I think they're quite resolute. So I'm kind of going midway third. Do you think that's a fair shout?
The thing is, they do have the quality, and they can definitely play on the counter with Gareth Bale and James using their pace. But I
Hmm.
think that because Switzerland can always pull a surprise in these types of competitions against the bigger teams, and because I think Turkey have a really good team as well, I think they're just a victim of having too much quality in this group for them to qualify. But if you want to put them third, no problem whatsoever.
Thanks, man. That makes it simpler because yes, I've got Switzerland to kind of finish fourth. I assume that's the
Oh,
third team.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
because Switzerland, I think traditionally has been a great team, but unfortunately, I think it's a bit too inexperienced this time, and I think Granit Xhaka is going from bad to worse. That's what I can.
Yeah.
So Turkey is a great team. Like I
Yes.
watched like I think it was 4-3 game against Croatia in one of the friendlies
Mm.
recently. Great scoring team. I think again the defense Soyuncu is there, so that's
Yeah.
something to look out for.
Demiral as well.
Oh
Demiral
yes,
from Juventus.
absolutely. So yeah, I think we are agreed upon Group A, Group B. This is something like yeah, there are potential dark horses here. What
Yes,
about
yes. I think we
Russia?
can just.
What about Russia? You think?
I was going to say you can just put Belgium as first place.
Yeah, I think that's the easy way to go.
Yeah.
And
Uh, Russia, they in the 2018 World Cup, I was quite surprised by how well they played as a unit, and I think they're a
mhm,
really good team. I have them
mhm.
finishing third here. I have them
Okay,
finishing third in this group, with Denmark coming in second.
I agree there, mate. So this was simple. I think Finland, as long as the upset is not there, I
Yeah,
think we should be good.
yeah. I
So
think.
yeah, I think Denmark and Russia will be the only close shout. It might be one or the other,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. But Belgium have the quality to beat them both, so I'm not expecting.
yes,
There's always surprises in football, but I think this group is going to
yeah.
finish like this.
What I would say on is like with Belgium especially, Belgium traditionally they kind of are late starters to the big
Yeah.
tournaments. So that's the only thing, right? So the first game will probably determine, and the first game also De Bruyne is not there,
Mm.
so that might be the upset that people
Yeah,
might be looking for.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely.
Let's see. Let's hope not. I think the Group C, luckily for Netherlands, I'm saying luckily because it's a young team as well. So they have an easier group. I know
Yeah,
that you probably may have Ukraine and Netherlands, if I'm not wrong, first and second, but
yes,
I'll
yeah,
go with Netherlands first. What do you think?
yeah, definitely, definitely. I mean, it is an inexperienced squad, not really convinced on the manager and the formation, but they
Mm-hmm.
definitely have the quality to finish first here. And then I'll have Ukraine as second. They've got former Blue as the manager, Shevchenko.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
playing. They're playing a really good 4-1-4-1 formation, and I'm really impressed. They have a really good youth system in Ukraine,
Mm-hmm.
and I think
Mm-hmm.
they can pull off a few surprises this competition.
Yeah, sounds good. And I assume Austria will be third, or
I think Austria have the edge on North Macedonia. I think so.
yeah, me too. Obviously, like Austrian, there are a couple of players. I think they play for Leipzig, if I'm not wrong. Couple of players.
Yeah, yeah, I think so. I think I'm not really sure, but they do have some good players.
Yes, and of course, David Alaba is the main guy, right? So Uh,
100%.
does he play in midfield in Euros? What do you think?
I think
Because
so. I think
yeah,
so. Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see. So yeah, we're done with three. That was quite quick. Nice that we are agreeing quite much.
But I think
Yeah,
we're not going to agree on this group.
let's see. So I'm assuming by that statement you are tipping England not to top.
Uh, not because they don't have the quality. I think they're
Mhm.
going to take a similar way like the World Cup in 2018, is that they
Wow.
finished second mostly on purpose so that they could get an easier fixture in the round of 16. So I
Okay.
think they might finish second here so that they don't face anyone from the group of death, Portugal, France, Germany. If they finish second, they'll have an easier way to in the round of 16. That's why I think they'll finish second.
Yeah, that's quite smart on. But what I would say is like Gareth Southgate and English media, the kind of pressure he has,
Yeah,
I
yeah, I know, I
don't,
know.
I don't see them kind of taking a back foot even for a second. Like, trust me, like it's a given that if Gareth Southgate doesn't win this, he's gone. Like he's anyway gone. I feel,
I
but
really hope so because I feel that the squad is really talented, and if they have a better manager, they'd be in a much better situation. They can play some
yeah,
really good football. I feel that they're just limited right now.
absolutely. Yeah, but what I would say another factor is on like with England. I know they have not performed under pressure over the years, but this is a different team. A lot of
Yes.
youngsters in the team, and as we saw in the World Cup, no one expected them to kind of reach where they did. To be very honest, at the
Yeah.
beginning of the tournament, I did not,
Yeah.
and they were able to. And most of those squad members are still there, right?
Yeah.
So and Croatia, the thing why I've not put them on top from my perspective is because while their midfield is probably the best in the tournament, is what I would say.
One of the
But
best, definitely.
yes, but when it comes to up top, I think Mandzukic going away was a big deal for them.
Mm.
Rebic is very good, but he's not your goal scorer really.
Mm.
And defense as well. I know that they have a couple of youngsters in there, but in case I don't like, I personally see that they might go with a tried and tested again with Vida and the
Yeah.
like. So that's something that will be their Achilles heel. So they might just get in a draw, which will put them in
Mm.
second for me.
Yeah. Okay.
Scotland is great. What about Scotland?
I am really impressed with Scotland going into the tournament. They have a really nice mix of youth and experience in their team,
Mhm.
and they've got Billy Gilmore. I mean, I'm really happy for him that he got the call up. I think that they finished third here, just edging Czech Republic.
Right. I agree with that actually because, like, you already told about Billy Gilmore, but more so, I think
Robertson and Tierney as well, two very
Tierney,
solid
but
players.
what about Barisic? Barisic for Rangers
Yes.
has been terrific.
Mhm.
So there is a debate that an ongoing debate I think in Scottish land that basically Barisic, sorry, I think Barisic plays for Rangers, but he plays for Croatia. I got that wrong, right? But uh,
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
you're right, right, right. So I think Tierney, you're right. Coming back to that point, I think Tierney probably plays as long as he's fit. I think
Yes, yes.
Scotland will probably get in third, and Group E, Spain to top.
Spain to top, but not very easily. Right now,
Mhm.
they've already have two positive COVID cases. I'm not sure how that is going to impact their squad. Will there be
Right.
changes? Will there be players missing? But still, definitely finishing. Still, they have to finish first, in my opinion.
Okay. Yeah, I see them finishing first. I actually see them finishing first easily because if
Yeah.
you remember the game against Germany where they belted Germany,
Oh, yeah,
they did not play with their first team. Right?
yeah.
They had a few bench warmers who were actually playing. So I was surprised to see that kind of team spirit.
Mm.
Uh, Poland or Sweden second. What do you think?
Uh, I think Sweden edges it for me. I think they have a really good foundation over Poland.
You think
I
so?
know Yeah, I know Lewandowski is a problem on his own, but I just
Mhm.
think that Sweden have a really good team. Is that they might be able to overpower Poland in this
Yeah,
situation.
it's interesting you mentioned that about Lewandowski. I'll tell you why. It's basically just tables have turned, right? So
Mm,
Sweden over the years, obviously with Ibrahimovic being there, we used to always say that Ibrahimovic is there, but Sweden is this, that, right? Now we are
yeah,
talking that about Poland. So interesting to see that. But
it's
yes,
be-
I
it's
think it's
because when a team is so reliant on one player or two players or whatever, if that player by any chance has an off game or isn't able to score, I know it's very rare for Lewandowski to have an off day, but when you're too reliant on one player, it's very risky going into a competition like this.
I agree there. And Group F, that's the final group. Now, this is the group of death
The
without a
best for
chance.
last.
And I don't know if we're going to have debates here, but let's start with the top position. Whom do you think?
France.
Okay, that was simple.
Yeah. No, I mean, they are the favorites, 100%. I mean, the squad they have is just beautiful. There's power all over the pitch. And then they've got their manager. He's been here for a long time. He understands the players understand him. There is experience coming from the World Cup and some confidence. They just have what it takes, in my opinion.
Fair enough. Only point that I have here is like, see, Portugal were underdogs last time in the final as well.
Yeah.
We all know what happened. I know it was 5 years ago, but the Portuguese mentality is something that we cannot deny.
Yeah, definitely. You can't deny the mentality, but this is something I touched on in my video on Portugal, is that they have a lot of attacking talent, but they're not clicking as a team. The chemistry is not quite there. That's why I have a feeling that it might take a bit of time for them to get used to each other. But so I have them finishing third, actually.
Oh wow! I'm not taking that. I'm sorry about that. I'll tell you why.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Yeah, go ahead.
No, again, like obviously, we got to take both the perspectives. But Portugal, I would like to totally differ there because the team spirit is what Portugal is really known for. I know recent results may speak about that, but in terms of just the team spirit and just the environment in the dressing room, Portuguese dressing room is something else, especially with Ronaldo, right? As in, I know Bruno Fernandes is also there. So these are like stars that people really look up to, and they have goals in them. Like, don't forget, like they have goals. In them. Germany, as much as I love the Chelsea boys, I see them going hot and cold, right? They're not as experienced in the international stage. They have scored a lot of goals in friendlies, but those are friendlies after all. So I see even Leroy Sané, for that matter, like everyone, right? They're not like consistent. So for them to actually come second, they need to, I believe, at least win two and draw one, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
I don't see Germany doing that. Like, whereas Portugal, I can see them getting a surprise. Like, probably the team which is probably more capable of getting a surprise result is Portugal than Germany. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. But the thing is that watching Portugal, I feel that they're not quite set with which players are going to start, and that might be a problem. With Germany, they already work as a unit and they have an idea about what they want to do. The question for Portugal is, will the players that are picked be able to perform or not? Whereas with Germany, we know that they can perform, we know that they can work as a team, and their manager is going to want to leave with a bang. That's why I said that Germany have an edge
that's a
over
great
Portugal.
point. Perfect. I think, you know what, you convinced me there, mate, because I think the last point was perfect. I think Joachim Low being the last tournament for him, the players hopefully will be motivated, right? And especially the Chelsea boys, like I said, right?
Yeah.
And I think Hungary will do the formalities.
Yeah.
So that is it. And then let's come to the best third place teams.
Okay. Click on Portugal first, because I think going into the competition, the group of death, everybody's going to be targeting 3 points against Hungary, and then a draw in another game. That should be enough for them to finish third and qualify to the next round. And I think they can definitely do that with the quality they have.
Right.
Other than that, I'm a bit on the fence about the other teams. I think Russia can.
Okay. I actually have an inkling that Poland, because again, I'm not sure if Lewandowski plays another Euros for sure. I know that they have played as a close unit. They don't score enough goals because of the service missing to Lewandowski, but they are a decent defensive team. So I would be inclined to And you mentioned Russia, but What about Wales and Scotland? Like, these are two
I
teams
have,
which are really,
I have a good feeling about Scotland. I have a good feeling about Scotland.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
same here, Scotland. So I think probably Wales misses out.
yeah.
Oh, wow, I had them in, like in second place, and now I'm just kicking them away. Yeah, I think Austria, sorry, surely misses out as well, right? So, yeah,
Unfortunately for
so,
them, I think as well.
so I think we are good, and we have the teams for round of 16 ready. Let's come back.
Yeah,
Happy, mate. I think we are done with the group
yeah,
stage.
yeah. Very
Yeah,
happy with that.
I don't think any changes are needed as such. So, guys,
No, no.
if you all disagree or agree, comment below. Whatever you feel, let's see. We'll come back to this. I am kind of recording this video, and we'll definitely revisit this in the review that you're going to do at the end of the tournament. So, yeah, no blaming there. So let's go with the next topic, right? Okay, so this is why we actually do tournaments like this, right?
Yeah,
I sincerely believe the knockout stages of Euros, sometimes the round of 16 is more interesting than the round of 16 in the World Cup.
definitely, definitely. Because given that the teams in third place may qualify, we might see a lot of underdogs gain confidence. And I think that the round of 16 is the last stage where they can pull an upset on a bigger team. So I think
Right,
it's going to be really entertaining to watch them play in the round of 16. While after the round of 16 is where experience and clutch players kick in.
right. So before we go to the round of 16, I actually would like to surprise you on because I have already made the predictions. I know, guys, we wanted to make predictions together, but I was so curious to make predictions. So this is like a different kind of a setup altogether where I'll be possibly judged on my predictions alone. So I want to see how our predictions goes versus my predictions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly share basically the predictions that I made.
Listen, just hold on for 1 minute. I need to
Sure.
go. Continue your predictions, and I'll be back in 1 minute, okay?
Perfect, sounds good, man. So guys, I'm just trying to look at what kind of predictions we made, rather I made. So hopefully you will agree to this. So I'm just sharing my screen. Yeah, so this is what I predict, guys. As you can see, I already have the winner for you all in front of you. Let me know what you think. Yes, a lot of us are thinking France will be the winner again, or maybe even Portugal or Italy, as On said, is one of the teams that he likes, and Netherlands as well. But no, I am going with these because I see a France Croatia quarterfinal. Yes, the final of the World Cup is going to be repeated in the quarterfinal, and then we will probably see the game of the tournament, in my opinion, in Belgium versus France. And this time, Belgium will come on top. And I can see old boy Eden Hazard at least turning up for a game, coming back to fitness, and performing by the time even De Bruyne will be in total form. So, this is what I predict. And we'll come back to this. Before that, I think we should look at what On thinks and
Yeah,
what we both think together, right?
yeah, yeah. Okay, I'm sorry about that, but I'm back
Oh,
now. And
perfectly fine.
okay,
Yes. So what I'm going to do is I just showed my predictions, and I am predicting England to win. But we will discuss again, and maybe I change together. I don't know, right?
we'll
So
see what happens. We'll see what happens.
perfect. So I'm going to share the screen, and this time I'm just going to share the entire screen so that people can see us as well. I hope it's visible.
Yeah, I can see it. I can see it. I hope everyone else can.
Yeah. Okay. So first round of 16, we have Belgium against Portugal. Like what a tasty fixture.
I mean, this is going to be a good one. This is a good one.
Don't tell me you're going for Portugal.
I think Belgium.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you. You know what? Okay, this is a secret, right? I have already chosen two teams since my country, India and Canada, they don't play in Euros, right? So
Yeah, yeah. It's the same
I
thing
have
with me.
chose right, and I've already chosen Belgium as well as Netherlands as well as England. But Belgium is my third team,
Yeah.
obviously because of the ex-Chelsea boys in particular.
At one point,
So
we could have had the Belgium team and all of it play for Chelsea. I know why.
oh yes, yes, talk about that, right? And Italy was a Ukraine. I'm sure you go with your favorites, and I go with them as well.
Yeah. As much
Okay.
as I like Ukraine, I think Italy is a big task for them, and Italy go through.
Right. And France was Russia, although it looks to be easy on paper.
Uh,
France have a tendency not to do well in the round 16s, but
Yeah, I'll
again,
keep an eye out for that, but I think they have the enough quality to get through Russia here. But still,
yeah,
there might be an upset there.
yes. By the way, whom do you see starting for France up front? Like Giroud, obviously because of the Benzema injury, I suppose.
Is that yesterday in the friendly, France Benzema was subbed off with an injury. Now I don't know any details how long he'll be out, if he'll be out. But at this
Hmm.
point, I think Giroud is going to be starting the first match, but I'm not entirely sure. I don't have any details on it. But either way, whether Giroud or Benzema start, they have a really quality player up top, and both of them they can get the job done, whether it's through scoring goals or linking up play. It's not going to be a problem for them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think Giroud is what, just 5 goals away from Henry, man. As in, that's like
Yeah, yeah,
something
definitely. I mean,
legend.
uh, I'm really happy for him, and I'm hoping that maybe in this competition he gets those 5 goals and he ties the record. I'm really happy for him.
Yeah, me too, me too, me too. Okay, I'm assuming you're going for Sweden. Ah, just kidding. Croatia, right?
Yeah, yeah, Croatia. This is going to be a good watch because both of them have really good teams, but I think
Yeah.
Croatia get the edge.
Yeah, I hope Kovacic gets his scoring form, finally. I think he's capable, but somehow, he doesn't turn up in
He,
scoring.
is that I see Kovacic as a really good midfielder, a complete midfielder, but
Mhm.
his output can definitely be improved. But that's not
Yeah,
saying he's a bad player or anything, but he can definitely get better in the final third if that's where they play him.
yeah. Especially with Croatia, the way they play, I think he'll probably be suited, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And Spain against Scotland. Scotland will probably give them a tough time, but you think Spain to get it or an upset?
There might be an upset here, but you can't bet against
Wow.
Spain. I'm not entirely convinced with the Spanish squad, to be honest, but I think they
Mhm.
can get the win here.
Yeah, I think they'll edge it for me, but yes, it'll not be comfortable. I agree there because Scotland is really rugged team, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, we come to the big one. I know that probably you were picking on Germany to be second, and we went with that, and it's
Yeah.
Lowe's last tournament. But imagine like Reece James against Werner. Whom do you see winning?
I don't think Southgate trusts James to start. That's why I
Oh,
think I think it'll end up being Timo Werner versus Walker or Trippier.
wow, interesting
Uh,
to hear that.
I mean,
But
I love
again,
James. I love James, and I think he should start. I just don't. I
mhm.
think that going into this tournament, Southgate is going to choose the players with experience in these types of games. I'm talking Pickford, Trippier, Walker, Henderson, and Harry Kane, maybe even Sterling. That's why.
Interesting. You got Pickford in there. I don't
Mm,
have him, but yes. See, although England have been way too defensive for my liking,
mm.
but imagine like a Grealish and a Kane, and of course our boy Mount,
Yeah, yeah,
against German defense. Again, I know Rudiger is in the form of his life, but
yeah. It'll be very hard to pass him.
Nicholas Sule is probably going to start. You think?
Is that I'm not entirely quite sure about the three center backs. I think they will adopt a back three. Is that I'm
Yes.
not entirely sure about who's going to start. They've got
Yeah,
Rudiger, I
Sule,
think.
I don't think Nicholas Sule is quick enough for our left,
Yeah,
of England's left flank, rather, right?
definitely.
Yeah, so I see them nicking a goal. Maybe this goes to extra time even, but I see England, nicking it.
Okay, you can put England, but I have a feeling that this match happens. I think Germany win it. I think Germany win this one.
Okay, we'll come back to that, right?
Okay, and come
Um,
back to come back to the part where I say that Germany might win. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I think probably the penalty, curse again on England. You never know, but
Yeah,
let's
I
see.
mean, on penalties, you definitely don't want to face the Germans.
Well, we beat a German team in 2012 in
Oh,
Chelsea versus Bayern Munich.
okay, I think that was an exception for Germany on penalties.
Anyway, so we'll come back to that. But yeah, Netherlands, Poland. I think Netherlands should do enough.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and Turkey, Denmark will be an interesting one. But Denmark, I think, is probably resolute, and Turkey is having a very weak defense. I know Soyuncu is there, but he makes mistakes as well. What do you think?
Definitely, Soyuncu is mistake prone, but I
Mhm.
have to back Turkey here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but
Okay, so that's somewhere we. Mhm.
another
Go ahead.
point where we disagree on.
You know what? I'm going to go with you this time. I'm not
No,
trying to balance out the books, but yeah, I agree in a point that Denmark don't score enough goals.
mm,
So I know that their midfield is great as well. Actually, to
mm.
be honest, Hoiberg and Chris, the guy from
Ericsson, yeah,
Ericsson, of course. How could I forget him? Right. So these two
yeah.
guys are great, but are they like goal scorers? No.
Yeah,
So
I think they're going to struggle for goals.
yeah,
Whereas Turkey, they've got Burak Yilmaz,
yeah.
who played for Lille this season, and he scored a lot of goals. He helped them win the league title against PSG, which is a very hard task. So I think they're
Right.
carrying that form into the competition. They've also got Yazici and Çelik from Lille as well. So they have the
Mhm.
form going into the competition.
Okay, there's a Euros expert speaking. Yeah, guys, that's a great point. But yeah, Belgium, Italy.
Okay, here I think we're going to disagree again over here.
Don't tell me,
I think
man.
Italy. I think Italy.
I've got Belgium to win, like be the finals, for God's
Yeah,
sake.
I know, and I have Italy.
Okay, so it's an
It's
upset. Like, what's your reasoning behind it?
is that the way that Italy play. I know you brought up inconsistency in front of goal, but for Italy, the way that they have the structure and the way that Mancini is playing is that it's sort of resembling the fact Chelsea when Thomas Tuchel took over is that they're getting a lot of clean sheets and they don't
Agreed.
need three or four goals to win it. They just need
Mm-hmm.
one goal a game given their clean sheets.
Okay.
So and the Belgium defense is aging and it's quite shaky. So I think
Fair
they
enough.
can get the goal.
Yeah, and I think Belgium is probably relying too much on Lukaku and had a Hazard to come back. So
Yeah. Now Lukaku on his day, you can count on
mhm,
him because I don't think there's a defender in the world that can man mark him. I mean, he's just
absolutely.
too strong and too fast. But
Mhm.
overall, I think that they don't have the bench to rotate players going into this competition.
No, no, great point. I agree on the bench part because the generation is actually just passed by us, right? So
Yeah,
I don't. I
yeah,
think
yeah.
they do have certain good players on the wings. I see Castagna being a great player for them. Uh,
Definitely, he solves a lot of problems for them.
yes, but I agree on the centre back and again coming back to Italy, uh, for my guy Jorginho, I know he's kind of split in opinions, but I actually like him for Italy very much. He's one of the
Me
main
too.
guys
Me
leaders.
too. Me too.
Yeah,
Me too.
and Verratti is and I think it probably hinges on the injuries for Verratti and De Bruyne in recent weeks. So I think
Yeah,
Verratti is probably
definitely.
fitter. So yeah,
Definitely.
so let's go with you, man. As in, I
Thank
didn't
you. Thank you.
I didn't believe that I'm going to do this, but yes, De Bruyne is probably going to be late fit, looks like. And France, Croatia. Now, this is like, oh, this is what I predicted as well, that there'll be a World
Yeah,
Cup kind of repeat.
it's
What do you think?
now Croatia. If they get this match, they're going to be going into it. They want revenge after the World Cup final. I just
Mhm.
don't think they can get it. I think France are too good. They have a lot of quality.
Yeah, that's easy. I think that I'll agree with you totally because Croatia is probably worse and France is stronger than the World Cup.
Def-
So,
Definitely, definitely. And
and
a problem Croatia faced in the World Cup is that by the time they reached the final, given the extra time that they played, they were out of energy in the final. And given that they lost a few players instead of gaining some, I think they're going to face a similar problem.
right. No, I agree there. And yeah, we'll come back to the semis. Italy France looks great on paper. Coming back to the quarterfinals first. Spain and England, mate.
Now, I had Germany winning the game before. I know I've said it, but I'm going to skip past it. Let's say England face Spain. If it
Yeah,
is England versus Spain, I edge England to win this game.
yeah. I think, I think if I'm not wrong, they've got the better of Spain in recent times.
Yeah.
So that's a fair point. And Netherlands, Turkey, Netherlands, my man.
I think as that again, I'm not entirely convinced on Netherlands, but I think at this stage, I think they might get the win.
Yeah, as in, I know that the management is a big question mark, and
Yeah.
I think a lot depends on the team morale, which is what Netherlands' Achilles heel has been for decades now. But
Yes.
I think
Yes.
in Euros they turn up most times, right? As in, that's what
And
I've seen. So,
at this stage, you need individual quality and experience to get through, and I think
mhm.
Netherlands have that over Turkey.
Yeah, Depay to be the winner, you think?
Maybe. Yeah. Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I think the semis look tasty to me.
Definitely.
Italy, France, man.
Uh, if we
Come
get
on.
this, if we get the semi-final, whoever wins this is going to win the competition.
I agree. At this stage, as much as I'm biased towards England.
Mm.
I see Italy and France, and you think France to get it because of Kante? You think they're probably more motivated? You think so? No.
Uh, I don't know because going into this, I always said that I have Italy to win it, but France is a really big task to go through. So
Hmm.
I'm not entirely sure. I can't just quite put my finger on it.
I'll
Honestly,
tell you.
it's
I'll
really
tell you.
hard.
I'll help you out. I'll help you out. You know what I think?
Mm.
Italian team, as much as they are structured and they are very well managed, and they score quite a lot of goals and a lot of penalties as well that they've won.
Mm.
The fact that they've not played in many tournament finals will probably come back to them because France, just the experience, right, of playing in the semis.
Yeah, yeah.
And even like if you're taking individual players, right, even Griezmann for that matter, anyone, right, they
Yes.
have played the biggest of games. I know finals we'll probably come back to, but with the semis, I see France probably tipping it.
I think the experience is there because a lot of the players that played the last Euro final and the World Cup final that they won, a lot of the same players are also here in this French squad. There's not a lot of changes. So I think they
Mhm.
have the experience here.
Yeah. So France first World Cup final, sorry, Euros finalist, and then England and Netherlands. So these are two of my teams, man.
This is going to be very hard on you.
I'm not able to decide. Like obviously my head says England, but my first love is Netherlands. So
If this match happens, I think
England.
England, yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm just being too emotional there, but yes, England's got to win this. So you've got Southgate to play in a final. Oh man, that's
You have
interesting.
Southgate to play the final.
I already did, but I'm surprised you have as well.
No,
So
again, I'm going to turn back to the point is that I love the
Germany.
squad. I love the players that England have. I just don't think. I think there are lots of better teams. I know that we have them beating Germany here. I think that if it honestly happens, I think that I don't want to keep on repeating myself, but I think Germany get the win over there. But if they reach the final, that's honestly a big plus for them. They're going to
Okay,
gain a lot of experience because they have a lot of the players they have are not tested internationally. So
fair enough.
getting to the final is going to be a very big experience. And England, for me, going into this competition, this should be gaining experience for their younger players so that they can win the next international tournament, not this one.
Yeah, what I would say is like as long as England don't play three right backs out of the 11, we are good. And yes, I agree with you. So let's put it this way, right? So in your mind, it's either England or Germany versus France.
Probably.
Yeah, I would agree there. Like, definitely, on paper, there was a debate as to Portugal may have landed up here, but
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
I think,
these are
yeah,
all just our predictions on who finishes first, second, and third. If only
right.
one position changes, all of this goes to waste.
Absolutely. I think the main thing is how they kind of, end up being in the group that they are in, right? Especially group of death.
Yes, yes,
So I
yes.
think I'm probably among England and France for a final. I go with France because of the players and the big match, mentality they have again.
Yes.
Uh, but in my other prediction that I made, if you noticed, I
Yeah,
tipped
I think
England to win because that was against Belgium, who
yes,
are
but this is a different story.
yes, exactly. They are Belgium are probably bigger chokers than England, so but France are not, right? So
Yeah.
we are done. We are having France to win the Euros.
Mm,
Wow, they probably deserve it as well.
yeah,
Considering last
definitely.
time.
Yes,
Let's
yes.
see. I don't know, guys. So, guys, again, I have no idea whether you agree or don't agree. We went probably, quite surprised selections that we did in the round of 16. I suppose a couple of them, but do comment below and let me know. Let all know, what do you think? We will certainly come back to this, you
I
know.
think we're going to have a good
Process.
laugh when we come back to this.
Oh yes, for sure. I think it's time to move on to the next section on.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. So okay, so the top players. Now we're going to discuss obviously in portions here. So firstly, the main thing, like I am a person who doesn't really care about who the top players are in tournaments. I'm sure
Definitely.
all
Me
kind of
too.
agrees with there, but I think the fact is like a Euros and a World Cup, they're so important for top players and top performers because of the transfer market and it being a
Yes.
summer. And Chelsea, European champions, and other clubs, I'm sure, would want to keep an eye on it and be the first one to target the top performers and their prices go high.
Yeah.
I'll start with you. Who do you think will get the golden boot?
Just before that, I just want to say something about the transfer market. Is that I'm really happy that Norway are not in the Euros, because if they were and
Oh,
Haaland
yes.
comes in and scores, I don't know how many goals, I think, given the rumors about Chelsea, I think his price just goes even higher than it already is. So I'm just really happy that they're not in the Euros.
I actually would think the other way around. I know you have a point there, but the reason is because, like we mentioned about Lewandowski, I think
Ah,
Haaland for Norway probably might be not scoring and they might be out in the group stage. So people might say, hey, he played 3 games and he scored only one goal.
yeah. Okay.
So the price might come down.
It's a double-edged sword. Yeah,
Exactly,
definitely.
right.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yes, so coming back to the Golden Boot, what do you think?
Golden boot, I'm going to have to say, is that, as I stated before about Lukaku, I think on his day he is unplayable. And at his time in Inter Milan, Antonio Conte turned him into a beast. He improved all the parts where he was lacking before with his back to goal and his first touch. And going into this competition, I think he's going to be Belgium's star player. So I think he can win the Golden Boot.
Okay, but great shout, definitely. And I am an ex-Chelsea boy and a Chelsea boy that I
Yeah.
would be biased towards. So, but Lukaku, like you, are not predicting Belgium to kind of go ahead. So, Golden Boots are usually won by folks who kind of reach at least the semi. So you see him dominating group stage is what I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, is that I'm going to go back to Haaland again in the Champions League this season. Is that they didn't make it very far,
Right.
but still he scored 10 goals and he won the Champions League Golden Boot. So it's not necessarily how far a team reaches, although that is important. But going into the final and semi-final is that you don't see games ending in 5 goals or something like that. It usually
True.
comes down to a goal or two. So I think in the group stage we might see him score a lot and get that Golden Boot.
Bang on, man. So, like, I would again go with a big name here. I would go with Harry Kane. As much as I don't like Harry Kane presently, and hoping that Chelsea somehow get him over Haaland, given a choice. But yes, Harry Kane. I think for him, he's not won anything. Like this guy
Yeah,
is really the most motivated player that
definitely.
there is on in Euros. I would say, right? And for
Yes.
his potential, he deserves it as well. I know he probably won the Golden Boot in the World Cup as well, if I'm not wrong. But
I think so. I think so. I'm
yeah,
not
but
sure.
I can see him repeating that. So Harry Kane for me definitely takes the Golden Boot, and
Mm.
yeah, I think I probably had Lukaku as well, finishing next, but that was because of me assuming Belgium versus England and my teams kind of being in the final. But yeah, that's how biased I am. Sorry guys, but
Uh,
that's how it goes, right? Subconsciously. Anyway, coming back to the next point on Golden Glove. So I am thinking that probably you went with the Belgian in the goal scorer, and I'm probably hoping that you will not pick the Chelsea snake, Courtois.
Uh, for me, I think the Golden Glove is going to go to Donnarumma from Italy.
Wow.
Uh,
Here
I,
comes the Italian. Okay.
Yeah, is that looking at their past games and their friendlies and qualifications, is that they last conceded a goal, I think it was in October 2020. So to go
Hmm.
on a clean sheet run like that, and they have a relatively easy group that they can get away with a few clean sheets in their group.
Right.
So I think that they can get it. But Courtois, although I'm not his biggest fan, is definitely a great shout for that as well.
Yeah, I think I've gone for the snake Courtois, uh, purely based on ability and nothing else, right?
Yeah.
And okay, guys, so it's actually pouring here, so I'm just kind of welcoming the rain. So anyway, continuing with our conversation, uh, yeah, let's talk about the top player. I know the talk of the town is Ballon d'Or for Kante. What do you think? Who's going to be the top player in this tournament?
As going into France, and that you mentioned Kante, I think he's going to have a really good tournament. But because he's going to have a really good tournament, that's going to give Pogba some freedom to shine for France as he does with them. So I'm backing him to be a star player in this competition. Is that when you see Pogba, whenever you talk about him, you know how talented he is. It's that he rarely performs for his club, but for France, he's consistent. He can play all over the pitch, whether it's assisting or dribbling or tackling or being strong on the ball or taking a long shot. So given the freedom that Kante is going to give him, I think Pogba is going to take it.
Great shout, because he scores goals as well, right? As in, that's
Yeah.
something that will work in his favor. And yeah, see again, it hinges on De Bruyne's injury, how fit
Mhm.
he is. But I have De Bruyne to be one of them, ex-Chelsea man again.
Yeah.
No surprises there. But I will have a shout out for Mason Mount. I think this is probably the
Yeah.
tournament. I know Champions League is something that he did not score many goals in, and people are still questioning. Surprisingly, some non-Chelsea fans, but of course, the haters hate, right?
Yeah.
But I think this is probably going to be the tournament which will get him to the next level, and
Mhm.
he actually scores goals because Southgate I know will play him. So
Yeah, I think Mount is being on to start for England. I think he will, and that a lot of people these days is that whenever they look at the player, they look at how many goals he scores or how many assists he gets. They don't look at anything else. Is that?
yeah,
But looking at Mason Mount, he truly offers a lot more. He is a heartbeat of every team that he plays for. He's really important, and he connects the midfield with the attack, which is something very important for a lot of for a lot of teams. And he is actually improving on his output. He's becoming even more creative, and I think he's going to add even more assists and goals to his game. And given that he's so young, is honestly mind-blowing for me to see him performing at this level, knowing that his best is still yet to come.
right, guys. So, on just a quick note there, guys, I don't know if you guys checked out my latest video. I'm actually having him as one of the stars of Chelsea at present as well as in the future. And there we are actually comparing Lampard and Mount. What Lampard did when he was so young and maybe in his third full season. That's what Mount is entering in top flight. So do take a look. I'll probably include that in the description or check out my channel later. Coming back to basically the top players, I think we have kind of covered most of them. And since both of us are tipping, possibly England, and you tipped Italy to kind of be there, it's fair enough what choices we make. So let's move to the final segment, guys. So here we go. Okay, so this is an area where something tells me that there will be some kind of new players coming up, and the transfer market is going to change upside down as it always does. I don't know if you guys remember the last Euros. I think it was Renato Sanchez who was
Yes.
really great, and I know what happened. Sometimes these tournaments are not the telling factor, but it is a telling factor in terms of the price,
Mm.
and tells us who's the big game player among youngsters, right? So, and among teams as well. So among teams, I don't know about you, on. I've got Denmark to be the surprise, team this time around. They have a squad of experienced players as well as youngsters. Youngsters there, and Christensen definitely has got a lot of experience now. So he and Denmark are probably something that I will say that you can expect some kind of at least one surprise. What do you
Yes.
think will be the new diamond that we'll find?
Uh, I definitely agree with Denmark, and the fact that they have Christensen as well is something that I'm going to be rooting for. Based on teams, I think I've touched on it before during the predictions. I think as a dark horse or a team that might pull off a few surprises, Turkey or Ukraine. Uh,
Okay.
Honestly, I think they have a really good team, very talented. Ukraine, as I've said, they're playing a really solid 4-1-4-1, and they have a lot of talent, which brings me to the player section, is that they have Michaelenko. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right or not. He's a left back. He's 22. And I think if he has a good tournament, that will put him on the radar for a lot of teams because good left backs are hard to come by.
Interesting. Does he play left wing back as well?
I'm not entirely sure. I'm not entirely sure.
We may need one after Alonso or Emerson go. So I don't know.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's a great shout on as an interesting shout for sure because yes, I see them doing well, but frankly, like I've not seen their national teams as closely, so I
Mm.
appreciate that input for sure. And yeah, as another player, I think it's obvious for you all to see the Champions League finalist, the winner, Kai Havertz, getting onto the big stage. So I think, yeah, I agree there on because it'll be between Havertz, doing well or not, where Germany
Uh,
can probably get through.
I think Havertz going into the competition is that he usually in his career with Leverkusen is that during the start of the season, it's okay. But towards the end of the season is usually where he shines. And coming off scoring a goal in the Champions League final and winning the Champions League and going into the Euros, he's impressed in friendlies. And I think he's going to start for Germany. And I really expect him to have a really good tournament for Germany as well.
Yeah, hope so too. So I think on
Uh,
thank you for your time. Anything to
just one
add? Please?
second.
Yeah, yeah,
Just
sure.
1 second. I want to touch on two more players of the unearthed diamonds, so to
Oh
speak.
yes, please.
I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, no, perfectly fine.
For Croatia, again, I'm sorry if I mispronounced the name. It's Chaletachar. He's a center back. He's 24. He plays for Marseille. And I think that given the situation at his club, I'm not entirely sure if they're in a position to keep their star players or not. So if he has a good tournament, I see his price going up and a good team picking him off in the transfer market. And then for Sweden, there's a really good young striker. I think a lot of people know him. This isn't a surprise. It's Isaac.
Yeah.
He plays for Real Sociedad right now. I think if he has a good tournament and Dortmund do sell Haaland this summer, I think they might be looking at him as a replacement.
Great shouts on. That's great. In fact, like Croatia reminds me of our neighbors, Tottenham, Dinamo Zagreb. Something comes into picture.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's something that yes, certainly we'll be looking out for sure. And I'm hoping the scouts of Chelsea, not only Chelsea but of course the other clubs also take a closer look because this was going to make these youngsters' future. Now that you've thrown in a couple of names, I don't know if I spoke about it, but obviously I got to speak about and Netherlands. I think Ryan Gravenberch. He's the
Mhm.
guy from Ajax.
Yeah.
So he's a young upcoming midfielder. I know he plays central midfield, but you people will see. Like I know if we're all talking about Declan Rice, that is how highly he's thought of in Holland, right in Netherlands. So I think Ryan Gravenberch it is. So guys, take a look at what will happen in the Euros. Take a look at our channels. This was a really really intriguing discussion from what I perceive, and I don't know how you guys like it. Comment below. Do you agree? Don't agree? We will come back to it as we've been mentioning. And before that, please smash that like button, press the subscribe button, and do not forget to subscribe to Let's Talk Ball with On as well as RCBian Chelsea Fan TV. I think you've already seen On speak about the European nations, but you can see the series on his channel as well. I think it's ahead of the Euros, if I'm not wrong. On.
Yes, it's ahead of the Euros. Thank you for mentioning that. And once again, thank you for having me today. I really enjoyed my time. I loved talking about the football with you. And it's honestly been a really good time for me.
Same
And
here, mate.
I hope everyone watching enjoys it, and there is more to come, hopefully.
Sure thing. So, guys, enjoy the Euros, and stay tuned for all the transfer rumors. We will be back. Until then, have a great time and take care.